So one thing that took me about 10 years to realize, in terms of taking Kratom for recreational purposes and mood, is that in the short term, you might be fine for quite a while, and you'll notice very few downsides. And really, like, the only downsides you'll notice in the sort of short to medium term are withdrawals upon stopping its use. But if you're like me and you take it for 10 years, pretty much straight, and the dosage just keeps going higher and higher, eventually you'll find that what it does is it raises your prolactin levels, which will have downstream effects that negatively influence your mental health, your energy levels, your motivation, things like that. And that didn't become apparent to me until recently, because I'm on testosterone, I'm on HCG, I take growth hormone, I work out regularly, I eat extremely healthy, I think I sleep enough, and I try to keep stress down. Yet recently I went through like a breakup of 4 years, but I noticed that like my sexual function has just been declining steadily, and just recently, over the last couple of weeks, it's just completely gone. Even though I'm largely over the breakup, like when being with a new person, like I'm just not functional anymore. Or even like alone, like my dick doesn't work. Libido is essentially non-existent. And with this breakup, I've been taking a lot more Kratom than I ever have. And I've really ramped up the dose. And eventually it clicked that like, this is a prolactin issue. So what prolactin does is it essentially causes like erectile dysfunction, kills libido. It prevents dopamine from being released. So they have like an inverse relationship to each other. So when prolactin's high, dopamine's low. When dopamine's high, prolactin is usually low. And dopamine equals sex drive, motivation, energy, erectile function. But when your prolactin's high, a lot of that will mimic like ADHD symptoms, but it will make you essentially useless, like in the bedroom, and that's what's been happening lately. So I realized I screwed myself over with 10 years of Kratom use. It served its purpose, and it still does, and I still intend to take it daily, but this is pretty much one of those things that's a blessing and a curse. So I came across something called cabergoline, which people with like pituitary gland tumors take to lower their prolactin levels that are just sky high. But bodybuilders also take it after a cycle of taking like tren or something when their prolactin is elevated. And what it does is it lowers prolactin very, very quickly, and it increases dopamine levels. So when you lower prolactin, essentially your motivation goes up. You become almost like an extroverted person. You become more sexual. The refractory period between when you bust a nut and when you can go again, that time is reduced to essentially nothing. A lot of porn stars use it too. But anyways, I took that about an hour ago, and I already feel like this weird sensation, this buzzing, like in the back of my skull, and this weird tingling. And I feel more talkative and more motivated than I've been in like months, if not years. Like I've had this apathy and this anhedonia, and it's just like zero will or desire to do anything like productive, and like keeping to habits and things like that has been near impossible. Mood's always been fluctuating. Waking up with like hot flashes and stuff at night, tossing and turning every day, feeling Kratom withdrawals steady, or what I thought were Kratom withdrawals, which might actually just be like high prolactin and dopamine withdrawal. But yeah, upon taking this is a very interesting headspace. So I'm kind of liking it so far, but it's just something to keep in mind that if you are on Kratom, you might have to keep your prolactin in check one way or another. There's natural ways to do this, but from what I've read online, cabergoline is the number one surefire way to get it done. And like the ED problems and libido problems were kind of a big deal breaker for me in life. And that's the thing with a lot of mental health issues that guys may face, is that clinics won't really do like a full hormone panel on them. Or if they do, they'll do the basics. They'll do like thyroid, testosterone, estrogen, and that's it. And what they consider good or adequate or within range is oftentimes well below what would be optimal for them. or like they might have actually like high prolactin that's been messing them up, but because it's technically within range, despite being at the top of the range, it's fine, and they don't bother doing anything about it. And they won't even suggest to look at specific things. If you say you're depressed, or even I said that like I've been on Kratom for a long ass time, and they just said, oh, okay, cool, no problems there. When really, like, they should be like, dude, what's your prolactin like? So you kind of have to be your own doctor in a lot of ways and educate yourself. But a lot of guys struggling with what they think are just like depression or like a serotonin imbalance, it's like really a lot deeper than that, most likely. There's just so many hormones that interact with each other and that are at play. So yeah, honestly, do your own research. And this is one of those things that a doctor would never prescribe me, just because it's rarely used off label and it hasn't been studied properly. But up until now, I've been really confident in my ability to kind of look after myself and my own best interests. And you should do the same, because a doctor sure as fuck won't do that for you. If you have low testosterone, I have plenty of buddies with like low testosterone for their age, in their 20s. And doctors are just like, well, you're within range. You know, the range might be that of like a 64-year-old man, but you're within range. So ain't gonna do shit for you. Sorry, bud. You gotta pay extra money for that. So as long as you're making intelligent decisions and educated and informed, like that's kind of just what I hope to do with this channel and with myself, is just document my own like life experiences and my insights and information I've learned that maybe other people are going through similar. But yeah, this appears to be some kind of like personality change almost. It's very apparent that it's having some kind of effect on me, even an hour or two in. And it's pretty surprising how you just tweak a couple of hormones and all of a sudden you can feel like a new person. So I hope it goes well.